Alright, here we go with a game with our boy Marton Stromgald. This is going to be a typical commander game. Basically, people are going to drop. and the only reason I'm showing this game is because, for some reason, a lot of the good games that I had, either the replay didn't actually get caught for some reason, or there were chaos cards involved, like planar chaos, which had coin flips and stuff like that, and for some reason that also messes up the replays as well. So I'm going to go ahead and present you guys with this one. Hopefully I'll get at least one more good one to show off how Marton goes. Alright, let's see who we've got here. We've got Mariki Ray Barrett, Esper Control with probably a decent amount of theft. Tolsimer, Tolsimer's pretty, not really somebody you typically have to worry about. He's going to be like the lowest man on the totem pole here in terms of threat level. You never know if it's going to be some sort of elf deck or, tokens or something like that. But there's just definitely more serious commanders to use for both of those. And then Intet, of course, is a dangerous commander. He's the original Riku, essentially, so you really got to watch out for him. This is my first hand here. There's only 2 lands and nothing that costs below 3 in my hand, so I'm obviously going to go ahead and see what I can do about mulliganing. I got 3 lands here, and one of them's Thawing Glaciers, and then unfortunately Reforged the Soul is in my hand, and that always sucks, getting it in your hand, but what are you going to do? You get Skull Clamp, and I got Ravenous Baboons to deal with any problems, and I'm going to go ahead and keep that. We're not going to really have a whole lot of interesting stuff in the early game here. I'm going to start off with Thawing Glaciers. Tolsimer goes with Celestia Guildmage, which shows token tendency here. Mariki Plains cycles the Eternal Dragon. Jade Mage, which, again, okay, so we're definitely going with tokens here. Intet played Fiery Gambit, which I thought was pretty friggin' awesome, even if he didn't win win a single coin flip. But, I think it's just ballsy, the fact that he even played that. I'm drawing land, and I got Urabrask in my hand, so that's good. I like having haste enablers with this deck. Okay, Mariki plays Elspeth and pumps out a token. There's not really anybody threatening out there. Tolsimer's got a couple of little beaters, but nothing big. And then he attacks me right after Elspeth gets played. And I point out pretty quickly that Elspeth's got a pretty good shot at going ultimate, especially if he manages to get another creature out or something like that, because I'm pretty early on in what I've got going on. I can't really do anything, and Intet hasn't really done anything, so it's really up to Tolsimer to try and go after Elspeth, and I don't think he's going to do it just because his creatures are so small. We'll see just how quickly Elspeth gets close to her ultimate. Intet copies my Skull Clamp. I throw a Mirror Retriever out there because I'm going to clamp it in the future at some point here, even though there's nothing to really get back. Hey, Karmic Guide to get Eternal Dragon back, and another soldier. So Elspeth all of a sudden has a whole crap ton of defense. I get another attack from Tolsimer. Seems a little misdirected or whatever, but Intet comes out, so hopefully he'll be able to at least sort of soften up Elspeth a bit. I bring Urabrask out just because it's possible that I might be able to get Marton out with a couple of tokens somewhere in the near future here and hit hard. Right now, Elspeth's at 6 loyalty at the beginning of this turn, and obviously she's going to go up to 7, so there's like 2 or 3 more turns before she can really go nuts. And again, there's no way I'm really going to be able to get past. Okay, well, he didn't pay upkeep on Karmic Guide, but he uses Duplicant to get rid of my Urabrask. There's no way for Tolsmer to go around it. Okay, this is this is the whoopsie daisy here. Intet goes after Elspeth, and Mariki blocked with the Eternal Dragon, right? Seems pretty reasonable. It's going to just delay everything. Well, what Intet does is pretty cool. Intent plays, since he's Divining Top, that's not the cool part. And then uses Early Harvest, that's what it was, to untap everything, and then plays World at War. Which is awesome, so he gets another shot at attacking Elspeth. Unfortunately, he clamps his commander, Intent, which kills him because Intent had already taken 5 damage. Intent only has 6 defense. The clamp kills him. And so there goes our shot at least knocking Elspeth down into a reasonable loyalty. What's interesting here is that he actually lets Intent go to the graveyard just so that he can draw 2 cards. So obviously Intent isn't a huge part of his deck, but you know, whatever. He's only got 2 cards in hand right now. He obviously thinks he needs more cards. So Elspeth's going to be unchecked for a little while here at least. He plays Mana Vault. I go ahead and Sculpting Steel the Mana Vault because extra mana is always nice, and then I clamp my Mirror Retriever and I play Ravenous Baboons to get rid of Mariki's Reliquary Tower. You know, I just wanted a creature out so that I had some sort of defense, and I could do something. I don't know what. Luckily, I did draw Firecat Blitz, so if I have a haste enabler or something like that, I might be able to get Marton out with a couple of big dudes, Firecats, or I'm just going to have to play Marton and then hope he lasts a turn. Mariki transmutes for Pilgrim's Eye, which is another blocker. So he's just putting up a huge defense. Right now, the only guy that might be able to stop him is Tolsimer because he's just pumping out little creatures, but he's a little land screwed right now with only 3 lands. So I'm just hoping that Tolsimer goes after him, and then what I'm going to have to do is use Firecat Blitz to just go all out against Elspeth at this point. And hopefully some of the blockers will be out of the way. Especially because Elspeth's already at 8. So yeah, Tolsimer does this. He blocks. He doesn't get anything out of Elspeth, but at least he softens her up. Oh, hey, look, there's Terastodon. Terastodon comes out to take out Elspeth, which is a good thing. My Skull Clamp, which is annoying, but you know what? I'm willing to take it. And Mariki's Urborg, which, as everybody knows, is a pain in the ass to play with online because of having to tap your mountains for specified mana. The bad part here is that this means that Mariki concedes. You know, he doesn't really say anything, he just bails. And I can't imagine that it had anything to do with something other than the fact that Elspeth got blown up. It's not cool to do that. Try not to, please. It's just super annoying. But you know what? I mean, if his whole deck revolved around Elspeth ultimating, then yeah, go ahead and let him quit. I'm not going to worry about it. I've got lots of land now, and so I've decided to duplicate Terastodon and then punch Intet a little bit with my elephant. Tolsimer goes after Intet with his tokens. He's still stuck at 3 land, unfortunately. Intet has 4 cards in hand, one of which is in play, the Elvish Archdruid. It's a little interesting. I didn't really think he was playing elves, but whatever. So now my plan is to get Marton out and then Firecat Blitz. And Tolsimer concedes because he's stuck at 3 lands and he sees that Marton's out there and he's not really going to be able to do anything. Okay, so Intet goes all out because he knows that Marton's going to be able to pump things up. He starts off with Vorinclex. Then he plays Rude Awakening to untap everything. Then he plays Inkwell Leviathan. Then he plays one more card. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Galvanoth. So he's not super serious, but at least he's a fun deck. Luckily, Firecat Blitz is going to be more than enough, even with Vorinclex out there, to make 10 tokens, especially with Mana Vault and Soul Ring out there. And once I attack with Marton, he doesn't have any cards in hand. He's got no other plays. He's dead in the water. So that's what happens when Marton survives a turn. Crazy things can happen, and you can get a ton of damage out of nowhere. And, you know, if for some reason that didn't work out, I could have memory jarred the next turn or reforged the soul or whatever, and, you know, tried to get a new hand. Probably memory jar because I don't want to give him a whole bunch of cards to play with. So there we are. You know, one guy was mana screwed, one guy conceded. There's nothing you can do about that. Sorry, guys. All right. Thanks a lot.